Beautiful people, what's going on? Let's get straight to it. I'm gonna try to be before you for a good time, not a long time. But let's make one thing clear about this WNBA season, and that is the general manager of the year and the sixth woman of the year has already been decided, and it is not close, not even by a little bit. What am I talking about? Who is the general manager of the year? Who is the sixth woman of the year? General manager of the year goes to Nikki Fargas, and sixth woman of the year goes to none other than who I like to deem the Lou Will or the Jamal Crawford of the WNBA and Kennedy Carter. Both members of the Aces, Nikki Fargas being a general manager of the Aces, Kennedy Carter, she coming off the bench for the Aces. And I think the entire WNBA community as a whole felt like, hey, we need to there's no reason Kennedy Carter shouldn't be in the W. But for whatever reason, other general managers out there after she left the Chicago Sky and went to go play overseas, didn't feel the need to try to get them on her team. And the reason I'm giving first we do general manager. The reason I'm going with giving Nikki the General Manager of the Year award is because after winning that championship last year, it's very easy. It's very easy. Matter of fact, it's not even easy. It's very tempting to get comfortable and feel like you don't need to make any big time adjustments to ensure that you keep capitalizing off of Asia's prime, off of Jackie Young's prime, right? It's easy to be like, hey, Asia put the whole team on her back. She'll do it again. We don't need to make any marquee moves. But no, a major hole, a severe hole that Asia's greatness was able to patch up last season was their lack of consistency from the bench. And I'm gonna just say consistency because when it came time to actually show up, Jewel Lloyd, Dana Evans, they showed up in a major way in the finals in the playoffs. So I'm just saying show up consistently. Part of their struggles throughout last season had to do with just Asia giving you everything she got, and sometimes if Asia is off, that means the whole team isn't functioning properly because you don't have enough help coming from the bench. And so you running your starters into the ground, potentially running into like risk injury and things like that with all the mileage that they're putting on their bodies. And so yeah, so again, I don't want to run the risk of making it seem like the bench did not show up when you needed them most because they did. But just in terms of like the cohesiveness of a team for the duration of the entire season, having your bench firing and clicking on all cylinders. Nikki Fargas going out to go get Kennedy Carter. Kennedy Carter was absolutely amazing. Me personally, and I'm not just saying this in hindsight. When the move happened, I deemed Kennedy Carter. I was like, oh yeah, she's six woman of the year. That's easy. They need scoring from the bench. They need somebody to be able to pick up the slack if the offense is stagnant with the starters, if Asia can't get it going, if Jackie Young is off, we've seen that versus the Atlanta Dream with her going 0 for 12, right? She goes Okafor. And this is what makes it scary, right? This is what makes it scary. And this is why you go and give the general manager award to Nikki Fargas. Because Kennedy Carter is not just a great scorer or just like a plug and play player. Kennedy Carter is the ultimate insurance policy for a team whose marquee player, just your offense is struggling. She's the ultimate insurance policy. Hey, put her in, go get a bucket. Right now, Kennedy Carter coming off the bench. They've already played 5 games. She's coming off the bench, averaging 19 points in 21 minutes through 5 games. Two of the 5 games that the Aces have played, Kennedy Carter has been the leading scorer in. I hope that I'm like painting this picture good enough for y'all to really understand, but not just understand, appreciate the move that Nikki Fargas made in going to go get Kennedy Carter. And salute to Becky Hammond for saying, hey, get out there and go get us a bucket. Don't need a number call. Right. And so the her being the ultimate insurance policy, I think makes the Aces a now with a 5 game sample size. You could say it's small, but I think it's a sample size that may be small is still yet impactful. Having that insurance policy makes the Aces scary to play against. Because if I told you at any juncture in this season there was going to be a game where Jackie Young had 0 points, you, as the opposing team, would have loved your chances at beating the Aces. You would have absolutely adored the opportunity at beating the Aces if you knew there was going to be a game in which Jackie Young had 0 points, right? But despite Jackie Young only having 0 points, the Aces still find a way to win this game by 1 point. And make up for the lack of to make up for the poor shooting performance that Jackie Young had with 0 points, no need to fear. Your insurance policy is here. And Kennedy Carter getting you 20 points in that game. So I think how many times is Jackie Young going to go Okafor? Not many. Last season there was a record for Jackie Young in which when she only had single digit scoring points, right? When she was only in the single digits for scoring, the Aces were 2-4. And the 2 games they got were wins against the Dallas Wings. The other 4 games that they lost were against playoff teams. So imagine going into the playoffs. Let's say, and let's remove Jackie. Let's go into the playoffs and imagine Asia struggling. If I told you Asia was going to struggle in a playoff series and shoot horribly, maybe not Okafor, but just shoot horribly, well below her season average, you as a team would love your chances, right? But no need to fear in the playoffs when they get here because your insurance policy and Kennedy Carter will be near. And I'm not even trying to make it rhyme. It's just like it's just you know what I mean. So and here's the other thing. We talking about six woman of the year. This thought just came to my mind, right? I'm giving her praise for being a Lou Will or a Jamal Crawford. You talk about instant engine, instant like impact. Soon as you step foot on the court, Manu Ginobili esque, yeah, you know what I mean. You got a plan for her. She's coming off the bench. You got a plan for her. You had the plan for Jamal Crawford. You had the plan for Lou Will, or else you're just basically saying, hey, maybe if we could contain the starters, their dent into the score won't will be enough for us to be able to like hold off or whether that with that storm. So Kennedy Carter, man. Here's another stat for you with Kennedy Carter. Last season, through 5 games, the first 5 games last season, the bench only accumulated 81 points. Right, the Las Vegas Aces last season through 5 games, the bench had only 81 points. This season, through 5 games with Kennedy Carter, the bench now has 153 points accumulated, right? They are fifth in bench scoring so far with 30 scoring 30 from the bench per game. Last season, they were eight. They finished eighth with bench points, averaging 20 points per game. And so, again, you may try to argue the sample size is small, but I think it's impactful and it's truly telling. Now, if you just want to nitpick it apart, out of those 5 games, 2 of them was the Connecticut Sun. And Connecticut Sun, I love the fact that y'all have improved to 0-5. And if you want to know why I said they improved to 0-5, hit the Al Green post at the end of this clip, or maybe I put it in between. But we stand focused on Kennedy Carter's greatness and Nikki Fargas being great at being the GM for the Las Vegas Aces, man. But yeah, to run that stat back again and get back on track. Sorry. um, that's the Houstonian in me. But to run that stat back, last season through 5 games, the Aces bench had accumulated 81 points through the first 5 games. This season with Kennedy Carter, they have accumulated 153 points. And again, Kennedy Carter is averaging 19 points through 5 games in only 21 minutes. Now, here's the big question. Here's the big question. Is the way Kennedy Carter playing, is it sustainable? Is she going to be able to, throughout the course of this season, we're going to look up towards the end and say she is still averaging 19 points? That is a fair question. That is a very fair question. The highest points per game a sixth player of the year has averaged in the WNBA is 15.7 with Candace Wiggins. And right behind her, literally off a point of a decimal, is you got Raquana Williams, who averaged 15.6. Will Kennedy Carter finish? Will Kennedy Carter finish the season averaging 19? I don't know. But is it highly likely that she could easily she could take the record for most points averaged in a season off of the bench for a sixth player of the year? I believe that to be very true. Here's one of the reasons I say that. When you look at the makeup of how she gets her points, she is arguably the fastest player in the league, right? John Wallace, De'Aaron Foxes, just in terms of like she may not be as fast as those guys literally, but I'm helping all of my newcomer WNBA people who maybe need some type of reference going back to the NBA. That's what I'm doing. Relax, relax. Uh, but yes, when you look at the makeup of how she creates her points, the reason I brought up how fast she is, nobody, Nathaniel, can stay in front of her in this league. I don't feel like Becky is calling her number. They have their sets, and hey, especially in transition, if you got the mismatch, go. Broken play, second chance points, go get us a bucket. You are our insurance policy. When all else fails and we can't find Asia, no need to fear. Your insurance policy is near. um, yes, so Kennedy Carter has 39 made field goals so far through 5 games, right? 39. Of those 39 made field goals, 32 of those made shots have been in the paint. I say that to say when you're talking about can she sustain being able to average 19 and 21 minutes and make who's to say if those minutes start to increase a little bit more as you get deeper into the season, she's taking high quality shots. So I think it's arguable that it can be sustained. And if not 19, I think it's argued that the high the quality shots she's getting in the paint can allow her to set the record for most points averaged off the bench for a sixth woman of the year. So again, 39 made field goals so far through 5 games, and of those 39, 32 of them have been inside the paint. That's 82% of her made field goals being inside the paint. That's almost like just when you talk about how much of a mid-range assassin Shea Gildress Alexander is, right? Shea, shout out Shea getting the MVP, but when you talk about somebody like Shea and how much of a mid-range assassin he is, Kennedy Carter's, it's not all pull-ups, it's her inside the restricted area. And matter of fact, again versus the Suns, she had 11 made field goals versus the Suns, and 10 of them were all in the restricted area right up under the rim. Right. Then the game before that, another game against the Suns. Hey, if you're gonna go crazy, hey, we're gonna go crazy versus the Sun. She had 5 made shots, and all of those were inside the restricted area. And her ability to create these high quality shots for herself inside the paint, if you just look at the film, it's just a matter of her being quicker and faster than everybody else out there on the court. She's able to make a quick split decision off the dribble. If you already catch her with a head full of steam in a fast break in transition, like it's a wrap. You either gonna follow her or she gonna find a way to get to the cup. So had to come on here, give some praise, well deserved, well needed praise to Kennedy Carter, somebody who we all viewed last season to be kind of blackballed just due to her getting into it with Caitlin Clark and kind of being viewed as the black sheep of the W, and people not understanding why is she not on a roster last season. Praises to, again, Nikki Fargas for making sure she made a great move this offseason and going to get the Aces some much needed help in the scoring department. So Asia doesn't have to weigh that scoring burden all season long. Can Asia do it? Absolutely. But you want to save as much wear and tear on Asia's body as you possibly can. And it's so easy when you have a great, legendary Hall of Fame first ballot greatest player in WNBA history type player like Asia, like how they do LeBron. It's like, oh, we got LeBron, they'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. You see, it's like, bro, like Braun can't do everything by itself, bro. And the same with Asia, like going out to go get Asia some help, some additional help with the help that she already has with the crew, to be able to, and again, just not just help Asia, but if Jackie have an off night, if Chelsea has an off night, right? Like you got somebody like Kennedy Carter who is literally instant, instant offense. And I just like you can't you can't I don't like, yeah, I'm at a loss for words how impactful and how great she has been. I'm not surprised, but to see it being done at the clip that it's being done at, 19 points, 21 minutes, and almost at 48%, nearly 50% from the field. Real quick stat correction. All these stats that be running through my head when I was like looking up her number and researching, some kind of way I got misconstrued saying that she's shooting only 48% from the field or nearly 50%. I'm not sure how many times I said that during this clip, but stat correction that I'm thankful that I caught before posting is Kennedy Carter is shooting well over 50%. In fact, she's shooting 65% from the field through 5 games with an average of 19 points in 21 minutes. So I just had to insert that quick stat correction. Didn't want to take away from her greatness. And so yeah, back to her greatness. I don't think the performances just through 5 games are flukes. I really don't. I honestly, truthfully don't think that these performances are flukes in any way, shape, or form, bro. Like you just gotta respect it. You gotta respect it. Yeah. So for those who don't know, there is, I know starting off the show, I called her the Lou Will, the Jamal Crawfords, right? I was calling Kennedy Carter the Lou Will, Jamal Crawford of the WNBA because we all know that they are six man of the year like savants. Each one of them having won the six man of the year award three times, right? And the six man of the year award now is named after Lou Will, and I believe Lou Will, if not all 3 years, at least one of those years, he had averaged 20. I think one time Jamal Crawford, he had like a 50-point performance coming off the bench before in his career. And so while I believe off of a skill set, Kennedy Carter is of Lou Will, of Jamal Crawford, of Manu Ginobili-esque. When we talking about hardware, right? Three six man of the year awards. What I didn't know that I now present to you, 3 time, the only three-time Sixth Player of the Year award is none other than Dewana Bonner, who won 3 consecutive years, starting in her rookie year, where she won a championship with the Phoenix Mercury. And so I just had like Dewana Bonner, I had to give her some love on there. Like when I was like researching, like when I was researching, I found I was like, damn, I didn't know like Dewana Bonner had like three, let alone three, six Woman of the Year awards. But to have them consecutively for 3 straight years, that is impressive. That is some like God level six player of the year type work. Had won it from '09, '10 to '11, averaged 11 points, 5 boards her rookie year, 12.6 boards the second year, and then her third year winning it, she averaged 10 points and seven boards. So yeah, man. Shout out to DeWanna Bonner. I had to just come and give her some love, bro. And in closing, something else that has to be talked about, not just attached to Nikki Fargas and like her making a move to go get Kennedy Carter, but it just has to be some. But no, also talking about Nikki Fargas, because though she wasn't the GM at the time, I do believe she was still like the president, right? And so in the NBA, there I believe the sixth woman of the year started the award started in 2007, right? And since that time you had the Phoenix Mercury, they've had three. The Connecticut Sun, and they've had three players win the award. Obviously, DeWanna Bonner was that player who won all three. Then you got the Connecticut Sun who won three. You have the I think it was the Detroit Shock, and I forget the other. I forgot what a team transferred to, but the Shock, they got two Six Player of the Year awards. The Chicago Sky, they got two Six Woman of the Year awards, and the Sparks and the Liberty both have one Six Woman of the Year award apiece. But then there's a team who has five six Woman of the Year awards. Soon to be six when Kennedy Carter gets it this season. You can go ahead and book it. And that team is none other than the Las Vegas Aces. They had De'Erica Hamby win twice. They had Kelsey Plum win once. They had Tiffany Hayes win one. And then they had Alicia Clark win one. And again, Kennedy Carter is going to win again this year. And I think there's something to be said about the Las Vegas Aces' ability to find and develop talent coming off of the bench, right? I think that's a big deal that not a lot of people talk about. So if you're almost maybe like a OKC, just in terms of how like they just got like they find firepower some way somehow coming from off of the bench. The Aces are in that vein too, bro. The Aces are in that vein too. And again, can't say it enough. Salute to Nikki Fargas for revamping the team and not just being content with putting all the weight on Asia's shoulders in terms of scoring. Uh, yeah. Look forward to the rest of this season, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and listening to your boy. Not don't just hit the like and subscribe button for this Emcstats channel. I have a podcast that I do with my brothers, the Respect the Game podcast. Please go over and subscribe to that channel as well. We'll greatly appreciate it. And do not take y'all listening to us for granted. Shout out to everybody who's already subscribed and likes and engages with the content and are over here watching me. And so yeah, don't take y'all listening to me, nor don't take y'all listening to me and my brothers on the podcast for granted. And yeah, hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on, and I'll see y'all on the next clip.